This enables CES attendees to navigate and experience the event in a more focused manner. There are numerous opportunities to expand Flatiron as a platform. Location-based automation, machine learning, and augmented reality can all be implemented to provide useful features for our users and invaluable information for our business partners. Flatiron is your personal gateway to connect you with your shared experience community, all starting with a pin on a map. Thank you.
All right, 2 minutes for questions.
So, go ahead.
I felt a disconnect. I really like how you laid out the problem and started the pitch, but I felt the disconnect between that, the problem that you presented, and then the CES case, because it feels like you are targeting existing events, but you pitched the discovery of an event. So the question is, like, what is it that you're focusing on? Is it like finding people on an existing community, an existing event, or having people finding events?
Okay, yeah. So there's a 3-step process for events, and specifically within a community. First, you want to find out, what can I go to? How do I get there? And who else is going to be there? Those are the 3. And then there's the added part to that. How do I keep a line of communication open with those that I met at the event? So to answer your question, it's really about finding events and allowing those to post their own events on the platform.
So what exactly is a channel? Well, just 2 questions. What is a channel specifically? And then also the chat. Is it a public chat or a private chat?
Okay. Yeah. So on the MVP, it's Wizard of Oz MVP. So what we essentially did is we put posters up in certain locations around campus with a QR code and a link like this one on this blackboard here, which says /Fleming. So a channel is in the future going to have an actual geofence for a boundary, so people within that channel can communicate using the platform. And if someone wants to create a new channel, in the future they will have the option to create private chat, so it's locked with a password.
Is this B2B or B2C?
This is business to business.
How do you think about selling to, like, I feel like I've heard selling to small businesses. Is that your customers?
So Nathan, do you want to?
Yeah, kind of. The problem is there's a logistical issue of selling to small businesses because you have to sell to each individual one. It requires an enormous sales team, and we haven't actually run the numbers, but they don't really line up that well. So our staple example with the CES was a large venue, which would garner more attention and charge a little more for that as well. And then hopefully smaller businesses will take note from there. As far as like getting them on board, we'll probably be manually mapping some of the businesses around Boulder, not necessarily the events, but just their locations. So they're still on the map, literally. But yeah, our hope is to target larger venues, like mid-range venues, maybe venues that have a local chain in Colorado, for instance, rather than just an individual mom and pop store.
You can feel free to ask questions in each 2 minutes of feedback. Or 2 minutes of feedback.
I'm glad I can change my question into feedback.
There you go. Go ahead.
So it feels a little bit like real-time Yelp is like the best equivalent, only you said you're B2B. I'm just going to struggle a little bit. I kind of agree with what has been said already about the problem. I got really excited at the beginning because I have that problem. Like, you identified a problem I had, but the solution was very different from, I thought you were going to like make it really, really easy for people to find me or for me to share where I was with people I was messaging, right? So then I would just went really in a different direction. And then just in general, like a social, local, mobile business, really, it's what it sounds like to me. And I'm having a challenging response to that.
Yeah, it's kind of +1 on the whole. Is this B2B or B2C? It's very, very unclear. given that I come from the B2B world, the second you put up the event thing, something clicked. So at Salesforce, we have an annual user conference in San Francisco. It's 200,000 people. We actually spend tens of thousands of dollars developing our own app that we publish to all of the folks. So there's definitely a use case there. We have parties all over San Francisco. People are messaging back and forth. Which one are you going to? So a lot of the functions and features that you mentioned, I can see being really, really useful there. The challenge is, I don't know, maybe there's already other companies doing it, I don't know what the market size is, but just from my own personal experience, I've seen where that specific use case you talked about could be leveraged. Didn't understand what your revenue model would be. Still kind of unclear, again, on the B2B, B2C thing. I would say focus on what you're actually delivering.
All right, that was 2 minutes.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Hi, I'm Dikshita and this is Rachel. So this is what makeup looked like 50 years ago. It was a social requirement for women and seen as a way to try and achieve impossible standards of beauty. But this is what makeup has grown to today. It's now a form of art, expression, creativity, and self-confidence. And much like many other art forms, makeup users enjoy sharing their looks and finding inspiration from others. And social media has really become a great place to do that. Now, I can't imagine many of you guys scrolling through Instagram looking for a new makeup look to try, but if you have a mom, sister, friend, or anyone who uses makeup, put yourself in their shoes for just a moment. Imagine you're going out tonight and you see this beautiful look on Instagram that you wanted to try and recreate, but all you have is this photo. You don't know what products they used, or where they used them, or what steps they took. And now, you're left rummaging through your makeup trying to figure out what to do. Or maybe you yourself created this gorgeous look and you wanted to store the information the steps that you used and the products that you used to try and recreate this look in the future. Or you just wanted to share it with your best friend. But there's no easy way to store all this information and organize it concisely. And it's 2017, so writing it all down on paper is just outdated and unrealistic. Well, Beautybook solves all these problems and more. Beautybook allows you to store the exact makeup looks you do, including the exact products you used, where you use them on the face or eyes, and then the exact steps you took to achieve the look, with this easy to visualize layout. It also allows you to discover new makeup looks, including the products and steps, making it easy to recreate any look. And our perfected search algorithm allows you to search by certain filters, including by product, color, shape, and much more. Beautybook allows you to share, organize, and discover beauty looks easily and beautifully.
Beauty industry is larger than ever before, with an estimated value of $4.5 billion and 84% of women between the ages of 18 and 64 wearing makeup. But what we found through consumer interviews and research is that this huge interest in makeup isn't necessarily the response to social pressure or standards for women, but rather the blossoming of a new community that sees makeup as a form of creative expression. What's missing is a centralized platform, and that's why we're so excited for what Beautybook can offer. Over the past month, we've seen great success interacting with our community on social media and directing them to our landing page. There are thousands of talented creators sharing their work on platforms such as Instagram. One of my favorites, Indian Gem Beauty, who happens to be standing right next to me, gave us the opportunity to share our app with her following, giving us a unique entrance into the market. By reaching out to these involved members of our community, we've accumulated over 400 page views, 29 email signups, and many enthusiastic comments. Moving forward, we plan to reach out to larger and more established beauty guru accounts and channels, and we know eventually our app will reach makeup users of all types, from gurus to professional artists to casual users. Beautybook will be first available on the iOS App Store, and to ensure it's as inclusive as possible, it will be free for all users, but a premium version to unlock extra features and remove ads will be available for $2.99. This is where our community is right now, places like Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. And while these platforms have provided our community a place to collaborate and share, none of them were built with the needs of the beauty community in mind. As women in computer science, we have insights into both engineering and beauty, and because Beautybook is being built by makeup users for makeup users, we're so excited to bring our community together in a platform that can offer so much more than the existing alternatives. Thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to see all of your favorite makeup looks on BeautyBook.
All right, 2 minutes for questions.
So is it independent artists that create the content on the platform?
Yeah.
Knowing a little bit about like what these people do on like Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, it feels like it is important, like recognition and reward to them. Do you have plans around that, like providing that on your platform?
Yeah, so, well, first with recognition, all the looks that they post will be authored to them, so they'll have full rights, so anyone looking at the post will know they made this. And then also we wanted to implement some sort of like mechanism or I tried this button to show how many people have tried a certain look, which will give them more traction to show, it's kind of like what followers provide on Instagram, this would provide that. And then another thing would be sponsorships. Beauty Girls could get sponsored by a certain company, and then that could be shown on here too. So there's different ways that they could be recognized.
Are you working with the artists individually to create these looks, or how are you doing quality control?
No, yeah. So there'd be a format for each look. It has to show. So we would say in the app itself, for the picture, for example, it has to show the full eye look, and then we would make sure to filter out any bad quality ones or things that obviously are spam, so things like that. Yeah, so but every picture will be provided by the community itself.
And then one more question. Other than sales of the premium app, other monetization plans or revenue streams?
Yeah, so we have 2 other revenue streams. So ads, so basic ads, and then the other one is sponsorships from products to us who want to promote their product. We can promote it on the app itself, so that's a different kind of ad, but
Feedback? Feel free to ask your question and feedback.
Yeah, so I'm not the target market. With that being said, nice slides, great presentation, love the lack of words on the slides, great delivery, great handoff. I love that both of you talked. Clearly you practiced and it shows, and that's awesome. The app itself looks really nice too, so I like the clean look. I liked how you demonstrated getting traction via followers on Instagram and other social media. I like the idea of the premium model. I can see how this could be great for makeup artists. I just don't know enough about the industry, but clearly you put a ton of work into it. It looks great.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really nice looking pitch. Like, my feedback around the pitch is, in the nice to have category. You did a really nice job. And I also haven't seen this before, which I always stands out when you do. I have, digging more into how you're going to do the distribution piece, I think would be good, and market size are 2 places I think I'm starting with this. Great job.
I think great job. And I think like there's just more things that I hope we're gonna come up around this types of model, like building on the success of platforms like Instagram and what how like purchasing decisions are made. That's really cool. I think building on what Julie said, I would like to have seen a little bit more. You're gonna have the chicken and egg problem, right? Having people creating content and then having people using the platform. So thoughts around that would have been nice, but really great job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, I'm Connor McNamara.
I'm Dan Gwynn.
And I'm Sean McClure. And we are Better. The handshake. Dating back to the 5th century BC in Greece, this action signifies one person's commitment to the other. This contract between humans has built friendships, sealed deals, formed alliances, and gained trust. However, in the modern era, the handshake has lost its power. Now, more than ever, People go back on their word. Commitments are broken, promises are not kept, and nobody is held accountable.
One of the best feelings is getting your reward from a risk that you took in a bet. On the other hand, one of the worst feelings, even worse than losing, is taking a risk, winning a bet, and not being given your reward. As long as people stick to their word, the only risk involved is the bet itself. However, it's not a perfect world, and people do not always follow through.
Better is the solution. Better is an online mobile platform that allows betting in between friends. Better facilitates bets and makes people more accountable for their bets in 3 main ways. Firstly, by the ability to assign a referee, your friend as a referee to facilitate your bet so that he or she can determine the outcome of the bet.
Secondly, a social feed. This will allow you to see your friends' bets in action. It will have the outcomes, stakes, and even proof such as photos and videos of your bet. People are more likely to stay true to their bet knowing everyone has witnessed it, so the pressure is on.
And finally, by tracking your bets and recording your stats to compare against your friends.
Better will be released. Mobile payment volume for 2017 was estimated to be $50 billion per year. That number is expected to quintuple by 2021. With increasingly convenient and secure mobile payment options, the days of going to your mailbox and writing a check and sending it off and hoping that it's delivered are through. With technology, the process of going to the bank, withdrawing cash, and meeting up with your friends to exchange money are condensed all into simple clicks of buttons.
Better will be released as a free phone application, so our 2 main revenue streams will be through allowing non-intrusive ads with the option to pay a one-time fee to remove them, and through taking a 1% commission on each bet.
We are currently developing our mobile application. As soon as it's finalized, we will release Better to the world and begin establishing our core user base using a beta sign-up program. We currently have some traction on our promotional webpage, which has 31 views and 26 signups. However, using targeted advertising and marketing techniques, we hope to expand rapidly.
Handshake deals are not what they used to be. By leveraging social accountability and mobile payment options, we can make bets official and people accountable. We want to bring handshakes up to the digital era and make handshakes better.
Do you think when people bet their friends something, they really want to be held accountable?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think anyone wants to be held accountable because their objective was to gain something through that bet. But if you are not trusting that that person would give you something, then the whole bet is kind of pointless.
Are there other people who want accountability more than your friends about, like, that they can do something?
I'm sure through most of our interviews, people mostly make bets with their friends, and they don't like to bet with their friends that don't make
That don't really follow through
with the promise.
sort of flake.
We'll come to feedback.
Is there any, are there any regulatory concerns or hurdles doing this online?
So the concerns are majorly centered around the concept of gambling. However, when we create the application, we'll use current in-place financial transaction apps like PayPal or Venmo, and use kind of their existing technology to just transfer money back and forth, so it's not necessarily.
Or is it legal? Is it legal?
Yes.
The regulations are mostly more strict regarding things of chance, like sole sports games, but other things that are based on skill, like interpersonal bets, how we would market this, are not illegal. So like other games that are kind of like gambling, like DraftKings, is where you draft your own players, and those are sports-based, but DraftKings frames it as you have to have the skill to draft the right players.
There's a similar company I worked with a few years ago in Portugal, and because in there this falls into gambling, and it was not legal, like transacting money, so they like used other like monetization, like gamification instead of money. But if here is legal, then it's possible.
We've also been considering using Bitcoin. We were nervous about using it at first because of the lack of people knowing about it, but in the past couple weeks, I think it'll be another option to look into.
All right, 2 minutes for feedback.